Hi, Brian Deters back to talk to you here today about the idea of sensationalism. We've been doing a video series talking about what is it that's been dividing us, what is it that's profiting off us, what is wedging our country apart from each other. We're all experiencing it. We're tired of it. We're tired of the broken system. We're tired of the political divide. I'm running for Congress in the 18th District of Illinois, and our message is just connected to that. So in this awareness series, we're in our third one of the issues. Today's focus is going to be on the idea of sensationalism. Another sociological word that we've been teaching for years and years and years in our classroom. And it very, very much is associated with what we talked about in the last video of absolutism and how media goes about getting our attention and, unfortunately, even maybe manipulating us a little bit. Sensationalism is obviously tied to emotion. It's tied to how we feel. When you turn on the news today, it doesn't matter where you go, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, you see news anchors having to scream more, panning in to different shots. Every single time you turn on CNN or Fox News, it seems to always start with breaking news, Fox alert. It's in your face. All of that's all about gaining attention, and that's fine. But if you think about it, it's a bit concerning. We do this experiment, or this video that I show in my sociology class on how we present our information, whether it's done in a way that's designed to create a sense of emotion, or if it's done to create a sense of information. In my sociology classes the last couple of years, I've shown a news clip that kind of shows the difference in some of the Western media that we're exposed to in our district and what is seen around the world. Over the issue of Ebola, you see composed West African news anchors talking about what is happening with the disease, and this is in the epicenter, right? I mean, this is where thousands of people were dying and at risk. Very scary situation. And they were very calm and collected. And then you show the clip of basically all of our news, our news stations on the issue of Ebola. And it was throwing the word Ebola out of your face, with alarming music after it. Very sensationalized, talking to people who were showing great fear. And, of course it was a concerning thing, but it was something that in a very minor way did it really impact the United States. But it felt like it was so, invasive to us, and we were afraid to even go out of our homes. That's when sensationalism becomes a problem. It creates emotion that creates an irrational existence in all of us. And the media, unfortunately, does this because we keep tuning in, and they keep making money. We talked about that in the last video on how conglomerates are kind of controlling everything, so there's less truly, places we can go to find news. There are still some places that we can go that we can good. We can talk about that later. Sensationalism can become very dangerous when it leads to a concept called gaslighting. Gaslighting is an old film where in this movie a man was basically manipulating a woman's mind so much that he got her to think about what was actually false, what was actually the truth she was thinking was false, and that it even got to the point where she was questioning her own sanity. Now, that's a pretty drastic thing. And of course, we don't get to a point where most of us are questioning our sanity. But the media does bring about a sense of emotion that makes us irrational. And it makes us vulnerable. And that leads us to maybe where we are today in the concept of when leaders can take advantage of that. Some might even suggest that right now we are living in a world where we've kind of been controlled by, demagoguery. A demagogue is somebody that looks to take on political leadership by fueling emotion, by getting away from rational thought and focusing on people's angers, fears, things of this nature. So, we need to be aware of this. We need to have a check on this. What can we do? The balanced idea of making sure we go from news source to news source, finding more middle-of-the-ground sites. Reuters is a really good one. Bloomberg, NPR, PBS, some of the Wall Street Journal. Some of them a little bit right, some of them a little bit left. There's charts out there that you can look at. But we need to be aware of how we go about using the media. And again, just like with absolutism, sensationalism can become even more toxic on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and these kind of things. We've all lived it. I mean, we can all probably go back to last year when we were, getting all upset about whatever was happening with the election and getting really angry and having to step away. Media wants this to happen to some degree, unfortunately. They're at least profiting off of it. And I hate to have to say that, but again, we need to exploit what it is that's driving this wedge. And sensationalism is one of those things. So, share this. Be aware. Let's work together. It's time to heal. One more video for this series is going to deal with the idea of anti-intellectualism. So I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.